blonde hair, blue eyes that'll make you faint.
Hey YouTube, you know, short time, see you again. So I figure, you know, some people just might not be playing PTR or want to see videos of stuff going on, and I don't know, I'm sure this is out there, but what the hell, I'll do it anyway. So now that the new set, or not the new set, but the shadow set has been reworked to not suck, I thought, you know, I'll see what the really good guys are doing and bring it to you. And what I found was pretty cool. I'm missing an item, and I can't seem to fucking find it, but I'll get it. So, kind of like my other video, I'll run through real quick. I will show you the skills, show you the items, do a greater if 60. You can definitely do, again, way higher with this. I'm just doing a 60 because I know it'll be pretty easy to showcase some of the abilities of the set. So basically this set is worked around shadow power because it gives it the effect of every rune and it lasts forever. So what I'm going to use is Bullish Shadow Ball, or Thunder Ball, sorry. And you kind of have to use either this or Grenade because otherwise you can't attack since you're wearing a dagger. Impale Ricochet, which, to be totally honest, the AoE effect of Impale is negligible. Well, not negligible, but it's just not as important. Vengeance Seethe, Phantom Knives pinpoint accuracy for that 1600% weapon damage. Now, I'm using Vault. I'm missing the belt that makes it free. I will touch on that in a second. And you have Shadow Power, whatever you want to use. I'm using Blood Moon because I like the wings. Ambush, Throw of the Hunt, Awareness, and Call the Weak. Now, this build is really built around just Burst, because this Ambush, as maybe you have seen, was not on the new Nats build, but the thing is, with this build, like, your Impale is increased by so much damage, your Phantom Knives, it'll hit for hundreds of billions when your ambush is active, and that's pretty important. So I'm using the 6 pieces of Shadow, the Shadow's Mantle. One thing, I am using Perfect Diamonds because, I don't know, you need to live, and part of the reason I'm not living as well as I should be is I'm missing the belt. So there's a belt that will, I'm going to look on this guy real quick. You know, I'd read his name, but I can't. It is called Chain of Shadows, and after using Impale, you can vault for free for 2 seconds. So it helps you. Things to know: all the pieces you're using, you want as much toughness as possible and DPS. So for this, I'm using Crit Hit Chance, Dex Vit. Your shoulders are cooldown, Dex Vit, Res. This, if it could be all res on the chest, that'd be awesome, but Dex Vit. This is Dex Vit, Crit Hit Chance, Crit Hit Damage. Dex Vit, if I could, Arm or Res, but in my case it's Armor. And then Dex Vit, Res, and I have Regen Life. Kind of just got to do whatever gets you the most. Like normal, I'm using my Zephyrian Amulet for the hell of it. Lord Greenstone's Fan is kind of, you know, the big deal about this because this is what's giving your Phantom Knives more damage, and it happened to roll perfectly, so, you know, that's pretty lucky. My Focus and Restraint, I rolled a couple so that they'd have reduced cooldown instead of critical hit damage. I would love to have critical hit damage over Dex, I think, but, you know, you got to get pretty lucky for that. Using Wraps of Clarity. And Bombardier's Rucksack. Now, I was confused by this for a second until I realized you can roll the new mod for sentry damage into anything else. So this turns into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 affix item, still with 2 secondaries. So, you know, it's a pretty cool trade-off because you get Dex, Vit, attack speed, which isn't that important, crit hit chance, increased damage against elites in my case, and increased regen in my case, so it's pretty cool. In my cube, it hasn't really changed. All the new Demon Hunter builds seem to use these. Dawn, Convention of Elements, and then this Vestige of Goons. If you haven't seen these before, Dawn will reduce my Vengeance by 60% on its cooldown. Vestige of Goons will give my Vengeance Darkheart rune to take 50% less damage. And just in case you didn't catch this, Lord Greenstone's fan, for every second I gain 300% increased damage for my Fan of Knives, and it stacks up to 30 times. So since I'm using Convention of Elements, again, like in my last video, point of reference is lightning comes after fire, and that's kind of when you're trying to plan out your Fan of Knives. Because doing an extra frickin' 200-something% damage, or maybe it's not that high, I forget. Yeah, 200% damage is a pretty big deal. So I'm going to run this Great Rift 60. Oh, hell, my bad. I'm using for my legendary gems the Esoteric Alteration, because you really need to live. Bane of the Trap, because it's always active. And I really suck at keeping up, but Taeguk, I would have to say that this build on the complexity scale probably rates a little higher than other Demon Hunter builds. So you have to pay a little more attention. Your Taeguk, mine always falls off. You're gonna see that. I just suck. What can I say? So, alright, now, here we go. Alright. And then you just damage. Impale, because of the Shadows of Mantle, will hit the first target it hits for 40,000% additional damage. And no, that was not I actually meant 40,000% additional damage. Now, see, if I had the belt, the Shadow of Chains, every time I impaled, I could vault around like this, and Rattling Rune, or what is this called? Rattling? Yeah, Rattling Roll will stun everything it hits, which, that's pretty sweet, because, yeah, I end up not living sometimes. Since I'm using Ambush, I won't always wait for my Fan of Knives for it to roll into Convention of Elements Lightning, but I do typically wait. You'll see huge power spikes occasionally because 40% for the 1,000% extra damage combined with Convention of Elements, it's all pretty big deals, so... You'll notice that it's a little less haphazard than the Reign of Vengeance builds. Because Reign of Vengeance, like, I'm literally strafing in between people. I'm not taking much damage to begin with. I mean, I kind of enjoy it more, but, I thought some people might enjoy this. One thing you will notice, though, is because these Impales, like, right there was a 20 billion. You'll hit hundreds of billions. You'll hit, like, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. It kind of depends on everything that's going down. One really nice thing, though, is the ability to kill bosses with this build is huge, because you'll get these Greater Rift 60s that have, 500 billion health or whatever it is. I think it's 400 billion, actually. And you can impale them like 4 times, and if you're getting lucky, like, they'll all crit and kill it. And it's pretty intense. Yeah, of course, I went the wrong way. I will say this, though, maybe it's just me, but this build seems to be slower. Like, I really do honestly think it could just be me. I'm not used to this. I'm not, like I said, not a huge fan of it, but it's been fun to kind of play around with. Now, I think it'd be hilarious in PvP. Not that anyone PvPs, but, it'd be funny as shit to just, like, one-shot over one-shot everything, because, we already one-shot everything in PvP, because it's god-awful. Oh, I will take this channeling. Abuse channeling, abuse shield, do whatever you can to abuse these pylons. This build is probably... I mean, the other builds do well with pylons, obviously. But I'd say this build can abuse more than, like, the Nats builds. It just... I don't know, stuff hits so hard, I'm rattling, rolling everywhere, I mean... maybe it's about the same. Because I also love shielding with this one, too, because, I just run in the middle of shit and don't get myself killed, whereas normally I would run in the middle of shit and definitely get myself killed. Oops. Now remember to use Vengeance, just like the Nats build, as much as you can. It shouldn't have much downtime. It will have downtime, obviously, but it's minimal, and the second it runs out, you're going to be taking a lot more damage. It's pretty important. Uh-oh. I saw that coming. Oh, I see stuff. Unfriendly stuff. Ah, that works. Oh, these didn't have much health. 50 billion. Psst, come on. And I let it fall off. God, I'm just not used to that. Like, that is one thing that you get spoiled with the straight build. You just never, ever, ever lose it. Oh, I'm sorry. Talking about the Taeguk, by the way. Man, I'm getting these random spikes. My computer's dying, boys. Goddamn illusionist. That works. It's hard to argue with the Fan of Knives. It just kind of kills all the illusions, and you're like, ha! Got him. Oh, it's a speed. Yeah, whatever. God damn, they're all just hornets or whatever. What are these? Yeah, they are hornets. Oh boy. God, the scaling gets insane later. The 60 just seems so much easier than doing, like... I was trying to do 68 earlier, and honestly, I don't know if it's just me or if it's RNG or if I really, really need to think about getting all my Desarian Despair, or whatever the hell his name is. Yeah, I guess I'm missing like 1,500 decks. That's a pretty big chunk. It's like a whole item. Well, it's a whole couple of items. Yeah, fuck off. Go away. Yeah, this is where I struggle with this build. When it becomes less dense and I'm not gaining all the percentage I'm used to on my bar. I don't know. It really could just be me. Maybe I'm retarded. Die, direct route. Yeah. that. Oh, getting close. Come on, a little more. Well, at the very least, I know when the fucking boss does pop, he'll die in like 10 seconds. That's good, I guess. Finally. The binder. Oh. You know, maybe if I could crit. Yeah, see, it's a good build. I don't know. I find it kind of boring personally. I was expecting a little more from the set, but you know, if you enjoy it, have at it. I think it's a good build, so. Alright guys, I think what I'm trying to do is get the last piece to the puzzle for the next build I want to try out.